World News, January 18. China makes military moves near Taiwan. Apology from the White House. China mobilizes warships and aircraft for exercises near Taiwan Island. King Charles III of England is about to be hospitalized. U.S. President Joe Biden apologized to the losing candidate of the Republican Party. Are some notable world news on January 18. The Taiwan Strait is showing signs of heating up after the election on the island of Taiwan. In the U.S., even though the presidential election has not yet taken place, controversies have begun to appear and are increasing day by day. China mobilized warships and aircraft for exercises near the island of Taiwan. According to the Taiwan Defense Agency, on January 17, 18 Chinese Air Force aircraft operated around the island and carried out joint combat readiness patrols with Chinese warships. This is the first large-scale military operation after the election in Taiwan. Specifically, starting at 7:50 p.m. local time, this agency detected 18 aircraft including Su-30 fighter jets operating off the coast of northern and central regions, southwest of Taiwan Island. Of these, 11 aircraft crossed the hypothetical median line declared by Taiwan across the strait of the same name. This group of aircraft coordinated with Chinese warships, but the Taiwanese side did not state the number of warships. There was no immediate response from China's Ministry of National Defense. The U.S. State Department said it is closely monitoring China's moves, according to Reuters news agency. President Joe Biden apologized to the losing Republican candidate. On January 17, U.S. time, the White House said President Joe Biden asked White House Chief of Staff Jeff Zients to call former Arkansas Governor Asa Hutchinson to apologize the same day. The reason was because of ridicule from the Democratic National Committee, DNC, when Mr. Hutchinson failed in his attempt to win the nomination to become the Republican presidential candidate. Mr. Hutchinson won just 191 votes in the Iowa Republican primary. He then announced his withdrawal from the race on January 16. The DNC's national press secretary then issued a statement mocking the former Arkansas governor. According to the White House, President Biden asked the White House Chief of Staff to call Mr. Hutchinson to apologize and emphasize that what the DNC press secretary said did not represent his views. The former governor of Arkansas on the same day confirmed that the White House called him and appreciated this action. Donald Trump's candidacy is still hanging in the balance. On January 17, U.S. time, the Maine Supreme Court issued a statement delaying the decision on whether to ban former President Donald Trump from running for office. Previously, a number of states had argued or decided to ban Mr. Trump from running for office because of his role in the 2021 Capitol riot. Last month, the Colorado Supreme Court ruled that Mr. Trump, the front-runner for the 2024 Republican presidential nomination, was ineligible to appear in the presidential primary under 14th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution. The Republican Party in this state appealed that decision to the U.S. Federal Supreme Court. According to the Maine Supreme Court, the Federal Supreme Court must first rule on the Colorado case and the state will act accordingly. However, no specific timeline has been set for the Federal Supreme Court's ruling on the Colorado case. Russia announced it shot down a Ukrainian drone in the Moscow area. In a statement early on the morning of January 18, the Russian Ministry of Defense said that the country's air defense units intercepted and destroyed a Ukrainian drone over the Moscow area and a second one in the sky. The Leningrad region, where Russia's second-largest city is located, St. Petersburg. A statement from the ministry on Telegram said the incident occurred at around 1:30 a.m. January 18 local time. Moscow Mayor Sergei Sobyanin previously said on Telegram that air defense units shot down a drone while it was on its way to the Russian capital. Debris fell to the ground, but there was no damage or casualties. King Charles III is about to be hospitalized. On January 17, Buckingham Palace announced that King Charles III would be hospitalized for treatment of prostate enlargement next week. The king's public activities will be suspended for a short time to recover his health. Previously, the king was scheduled to have meetings with foreign officials and cabinet members in Scotland on January 18, but these meetings were cancelled. According to Buckingham Palace, King Charles III's illness is benign, but he will have to undergo medical intervention. The United Nations calls for a once and for all resolution of the Gaza conflict. Speaking at the 54th Annual Conference of the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland on January 17, United Nations Secretary-General Antonio Guterres said, "It is really important to resolve the humanitarian situation in Gaza and achieve a humanitarian ceasefire. But we need to realize, once and for all, a comprehensive commitment by the international community to a parallel two-state solution between Israel and Palestine, as the basis for a peaceful and stable Middle East for the benefit of all," he called. The United Nations head also affirmed that the only way for Israelis and Palestinians to live together in safety is for each side to have their own state.